that are Sharia delimited, you know, like for example, Turkey. Turkey has got a secular legal system, but the legal system goes only to the point where you will offend, let's say, or break Sharia law. So, for example, you have freedom of speech, but you're not allowed to criticize the Quran and the Prophet, you know, that is out of freedom of speech. You're allowed to do certain things, but in the boundary where you would break Sharia, that's where you yeah put the limit. So a lot of the Muslim countries work like that have implemented the secular system, and that is kind of like what they want to do in the West. You know, it's not necessarily implement a full-on Sharia law, but they want us to be respectful of Sharia, and by that compromise on our freedoms or our liberty, you know, so we can meet them at the Sharia boundary, you know.
India has a mix.
Yeah, it's what I was saying about Turkey, but it's not a real mix. It's just that the boundary is set, you know, at a different part. Well, let's say that we have no, well, yeah, we do have boundaries,
I
but
meant India has, sh- I guess, is it princess? Is it safe? Is it the proper word to say, or proper phrase to say Sharia courts? But it applies to inheritance, charitable organizations.
Yaakov, the book that I had posted in the previous room, he cites that a lot of these countries, I don't know about India, but because he didn't specifically cite India, um, that the legal systems that they implemented was that of the like colonial powers prior, but then they left some of quote the Sharia, quote Sharia, not really
Exactly.
Sharia, to family matters, like what you're saying.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah.
specifically for family matters, marriage, things like
Yeah,
that.
but like the complete system of the Sharia of its history was completely uprooted, so you don't have that anymore. Or even when I say Sharia, I don't like saying it that way because that's not what Sharia is.
Yeah, I guess it's in India, it's Sharia light, which in itself is a
Sharia light.
contradiction.
Oh my god, that's good.
Yeah,
Again, I mean,
15% less calories, Simon.
Sharia. When we Sharia
Oh
Is
my
that
like
like
god.
Israelite?
Sharia was to protect
yeah,
like life,
Israelite.
property.
That's a good one, actually. When somebody
Sorry,
tells you,
Princess,
"Oh, we
that's
are the Israelites," it's like, "Oh, so you are Israeli light. You're the light version
exactly.
of an Israeli." That's good.
Take 15% off.
And I don't think you've
Yeah,
mentioned
love that
one
concept.
of the more
Right,
important
we start.
translations of Sharia, Princesa, that is legislation.
I mean, when I talk about jurisprudence, I'm talking about fiqh.
But so, Faisal, you have heard what I said, right?
Of course,
Do you agree with me?
to a large extent, yes.
Okay, you see, Princessia,
Mm.
you have your own interpretation of the Quran from the West.
And to Jew.
Womp, womp, womp.
I mean,
I don't think that
Wah wah wah.
Islam allows for a pick and choose, you know, and that's the reason why I say that people don't really, I mean, we in the West, and I'm not claiming to be an expert on Islam or anything, but I can see when people are trying to be open to Islam and say, yeah, well, they're moderates. There is not such a thing as a moderate in Islam. You're not allowed to just pick and
okay,
choose.
hold on, Habibti. So I want to say that Sharia, first of all, just because before we jump to this, but Sharia, it seeks, like in theory, like like it's firmly established seeks to protect and promote 5 fundamental values. So like keep this in your head: life, intellect, reputation or dignity, lineage or family, and property. These are 5 like what is established in the Islamic legal tradition about what Sharia seeks to protect. So if you're thinking of Sharia from like this paradigm, from this like understanding, I think that will help you better understand when it
Could
comes to
you?
Islam. When it comes to Islam and you claiming pick and choosing, I do not pick and choose. Obviously I'm not veiled, but I have my thoughts on veiling in the context of where I am in my society. Like that's not outside, that's not picking or choosing. I don't interpret the Quran myself. I listen to the scholars and the teachers that I respect. I read the Quran, I try to better understand the Quran, but I'm not picking or choosing when it comes to Islam. And if I weren't
Uh,
in, I understand I am in the U.S., and because I understand I'm in the U.S., I can live within a culture that is
Cherry
acceptable for the
picking.
society. No, it isn't. But
um,
if I was in Palestine, I don't have to veil in Palestine. I have many, many relatives that go to Palestine and don't
Well, you
veil.
do in Never
Iran,
Never
you had
Land.
referenced Iran. One second, and I'm almost going to land. You had referenced Iran. Iran, I can't speak to. They're Shia. They have a completely different system than what I know. They have a concept called maraja. They don't have the same kind of concept, that we don't even pray the same. We have different like rules when it comes to our prayer that are different than, and that's like a big thing. Like prayer, like that's the fund, like that's the most basic part of Sharia is prayer.
interesting. Now, could you repeat those pillars again?
It's not pillars. I said what they
I
seek to
remember
promote.
family,
Why
reputation,
why does
property,
Faisal
life.
have never heard of them?
I remember.
Because most Muslims aren't educated,
Okay,
just as
I.
non-Muslims.
What were the 5? I remember family, property, reputation,
Yes,
and
so
life. What was the
Sharia
5th?
seeks to protect life, intellect, reputation or
Intellect.
dignity,
That was a
lineage or
weird one.
family, and property.
Intellect is a weird one. It's intellect, not truth.
I mean, I have to dive more I have to dive deeper into this to but I'm just like telling you the basic
Hmm.
like
I hear.
the
I
Well,
hear.
how can
Telling
you have
you.
truth
What
I
if
think
what
you
the
is
weak
can't
life?
points.
contradict
I think the weak
God?
points there are intellect and life, as far as I can tell.
What does life mean? Just like staying alive?
Yeah,
I
protect
guess
people's lives, all lives.
Wait, let her answer.
it means
I
cutting their
mean, I
hands
think
off,
that's
but not necessarily
I think
taking
it's
their head off when they
I
steal
think it's
something.
self-explanatory, right?
Yeah.
Life. The right to
No, it's
life.
not self-explanatory because I could say life means that I get to be free. Life means that I get to enjoy my life
Freedom
productively.
isn't
Serve.
one of the
I'm
5.
saying you mean just biologically staying alive, right?
Life,
I,
yeah.
I would
That's
I
one.
would I would
Staying
probably
alive.
extend it to not like aborting your unborn.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
still
life
staying
issue.
alive.
Or beating your wife.
That would no.
R.I.P.
That would
Oh, that
be
depends on
no.
what she says.
Huh?
Beating your wife.
Yeah,
Beating your
No,
I
wife would
would
be
that's
extend it
subject.
there because
That's
beating,
I would
beating,
say
beating,
subjective.
beating, beating, beating
no.
your
Beating your
wife,
wife is
No, I
subjective.
beating,
would
beating,
Or
extend
beating,
it
cutting a
beating,
there.
hand
beating,
off instead of
No,
stoning to
Simon,
death.
beating,
I would suggest it there
beating.
because I would say that life means the right not to get beaten. I wanted
Wrong.
to know if that's like part of life.
No.
No,
There is
why would that be
nuance to
part of
who is
life?
my
You're still
wife.
alive if you get beaten.
But
All
that is a
depends
good
on how
question.
healthy your wife is.
Princessa, within your understanding of the 5 pillars,
These aren't
is
5 pillars.
okay, fine, whatever. These 5
These are the 5 values that
okay,
Sharia seeks to protect and
5
promote.
values. Within the
Yeah.
5 values, if I stop someone from injuring me, is that protecting life or property or family or like
I
reputation?
think these are the questions that the jurist would like inquire on.
So
So I
they
can't
wouldn't be
answer that.
sure.
I'm not rooted in the methodology to better understand. This is a great question, but I think these are the type of questions that they elaborated on.
Why don't we
How
ask
many?
Prophet ChatGPT?
No, no, don't, because it's like you're
No, how
reducing
many
it. Why don't
years?
you read the book? It's a
No, we're
really
not
good book.
reducing it. We can just apply like
I
the
read some of
Quran
it.
to
I didn't love it.
ChatGPT,
Wait,
and
how
Did
it'll.
you
many years of
did you
study?
click on the link, Mixed?
No,
No, I don't know what
Zora,
link
how
you're
many
talking about.
years of study would it take me to become eligible to do that kind of jurisprudence?
No,
To be a jurist?
just understand. My criticism or my question is now it's a criticism.
They
If you're
probably
saying
overlap. They probably overlap.
yeah, but they come from different
Overlap.
origins,
What's your
right?
number?
Like if I were to look at injury to others as a life issue, and a different school were to look at it as a property issue, and a different school looked at it as a reputation issue, those are not the same legal system. They're just pretending they're related.
Define
And
pretending.
maybe there's some ambiguity.
Mm.
Maybe there's so much
I'll
ambiguity that
explain. I'll
people don't
explain. I'll
generally
explain.
understand
If
it
I
because it doesn't
say
make
if
any
I
fucking
say that
sense.
injury is couched in life, then the punishment would grow based upon how close I came to killing the person. But if it was based on reputation, I might not pay as much if, say, the guy isn't that big and important. So if my injury to him, that doesn't matter that much. And if it's about family, then if the guy's not related to me, that might not matter. You see?
Are you asking ChatGPT, Simon?
This
No,
is
I'm just
why
writing to AB that Muslims don't appreciate political freedoms,
and by the
which,
way,
you
like
know,
this
Yeah,
is
is
they
this is
don't.
enshrined
actually
in
what
Sharia.
people were looking for when they were trying to cohere and unite into a single system. They wanted consistent legal codes. And in the Enlightenment, that really was a philosophical breakthrough that all the legal codes could probably agree with this basis. That was the great insight. And now we understand each other, right? All the Western countries understand each other and are united in a firmer stance of enlightened secularism than all of the religions of the past were able to accomplish.
So, Nora, how long does it take to become a jurist? How many years of study?
I don't know.
I think someone said in the chat like
And
7 years, 5 to 7
you
years.
would do that in a halakha? Like I would get like a diploma? Like, or how would that work?
I
She
think
gets a scarf.
I don't know. So in general, whenever we have something called an ijaza, which is like a license. And in theory, the license should be somebody that the teachers go all the way back to the Prophet and
Smicha.
through their what is it?
That's similar to the Jewish concept of smicha, which is related to a Jewish word of like lifting up and presenting, and it's an appointment.
Leaning. It means leaning.
Yeah.
Leaning your hands on
But
the
but
bull to
the
appoint it.
Muslim world is not very like they're at a disarray right now, so I don't know if there's any kind of structure. Now they do institutions and I don't know. So the professor, the teacher,
Disarray.
the theologian that I and the jurist that I take from, I trust his credentials.
Yeah, so I kind of know about that. So there are four schools in the world that if you want to become an Islamic jurist, right, in the courts, um, there are number one, Al Azhar University, Cairo, Egypt. Number two, Islamic University of Medina, Saudi Arabia. Number three, Darul Uloom, India. International Islamic University in Malaysia. These are four universities in the Islamic world, which allows you, when you graduate, to become an Islamic
But
jurist.
AB, this is something that has been modernized. This isn't the way that they used to be jurists. Like this is like that's what I'm saying when it's like it's yeah, and the brightest minds aren't the ones that are going to be jurists. They're the ones that are leaving and going to be to just secular universities. So I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but I'm saying that this is not how it's been and that we have issues with the
Okay,
systems
I'm
that we
saying
have
first,
of like education.
I'm just saying if I want to be an Islamic jurist, this is just it. It's just a fact. This is what you do. You go to these four universities. You do a bachelor's degree, then you do a master's in these studies, and that's how you become. It's very straightforward. It's not very complicated. There's no old way. It's just that's how it is. That's the system.
Or you could be appointed by an imam. And by
Interesting.
imam, I don't mean like you know, person who's responsible for conducting prayer.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to a free secular society instead of a theocratic state. Thanks.
Yeah, that's
And you'll
fine.
pay the price for it.
That's fine.
Objectively speaking.
Objectively, that's right. I'm just gonna wait for the objectivists to come out with Galt's Gulch.
Oh, that's fine, dude. Live in your secular society, do your drugs, party in front of the enemy,
I don't even
and
drink.
see what happens.
I don't even drink. So
He didn't deny drugs.
yeah, I don't do drugs or
Mm.
drink. I
I'm
have
saying
no.
He doesn't
I
consider pharmaceuticals drugs.
I'm an atheist that doesn't involve himself in vices.
You
atheists
didn't
Oh
deny
shouldn't.
yeah,
gay
you have
sex.
Who would have
vices.
thought?
I
I
So
had
noticed
yeah.
you didn't
a
deny
friend
having
that was
gay sex.
into like heavy
What's wrong
metal.
with sex?
You're in
Uh,
France. You're gonna get vaccinated whether you like it or not.
You're gay for having sex.
No, not anymore.
That's right.
Having sex is so gay. But either way, Simon.
Some of my best friends are gay.
Nathan, we were just talking about religion. You came 1 second late.
Yeah,
I've
I
never.
think that
Actually, maybe
Did you guys
maybe
see that
Nathan
the mayor
can.
of New York was recently indicted on bribery and fraud charges?
100%.
Yeah, he was arrested
100%.
this
Maybe
morning.
Nathan
Yeah.
can
Oh,
help
he was
us with the
actually
questions
arrested.
that
Yeah.
the feds
Yes.
Princessia had.
arrested him.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, he's
yes.
arrested.
That's fucking based.
Who is
Let's
arrested?
go, New
Yeah.
York.
Mayor Eric
Wait,
All
Adams.
politicians are
First sitting
criminals by
president,
definition.
mayor.
wait, who is arrested?
No, not
The
by
Mayor
The
mayor,
of New
mayor of New
York.
the
York
mayor
City.
of
That's
New
a
York City.
Ah.
Diego. You're such a Kantian. I figured you out, bro. You're a Kantian.
Oh yeah, Diego, he's calling you a Kantian. He's been calling
Yeah,
you a
you are
Kantian
kind
for
of
a week.
cocky.
He's
Is that
called.
supposed
Better
to be
than
A
being
offensive?
cunt.
better than being
Yeah,
a
Well,
cuntian.
he's also a Kantian, but a
that's
Kantian
right.
as well.
All politicians are criminals by
No,
definition.
not by definition. No,
Well,
not by
then
definition.
By
That's
also
a logical fallacy.
all
definition,
illegal immigrants are criminals by definition.
that's true because you put illegal in the title.
Well,
But
what he
Mhm.
why are
was,
all politicians
what
criminal
he's,
by definition?
what he
Yeah,
said
That's
was,
but that's
right.
true. All illegal immigrants are criminals,
well,
and that
that's what
people
he
are like,
said.
no, not everyone is a criminal. Yes, all
He
of them
said
are.
How about
he
this?
said
The
he was
statement
indicted because he
illegal
took a
immigrants are
strong stand
criminals
on it.
is superfluous. How about that?
I would say putting the word illegal in front of immigrants is morally reprehensible.
And why don't you like Mexico,
Weird.
Isa?
That's
Aren't
not how
they
it
words
your
work.
neighbors?
it depends on the
Yes.
illegal immigrant. So if they overstayed a visa, that's a civil matter. Thanks for listening to my
Still
TED talk.
criminal.
Oh,
One
that's
one
actually a
thing
Criminal
good
shit.
one
one thing
then.
he did wrong. They said he's a
So
foreign agent for
if
Turkey.
they enter the country legally, then that is criminal.
Wait, I
If they
didn't hear this.
overstay, it's civil.
It's still
Yeah.
illegal. It's just civil, not.
Huh. Well,
Wait, he's an agent for Turkey.
Oh,
They
No,
said
who
okay,
who is an
okay,
agent
guys.
for
they said
Turkey?
he's an agent for Turkey, and the chicken
He's
farmers are
not
very
an
upset.
agent for Turkey. The story is that he took some money to get some deals so that Turkey could get approval from. This sounds like New York
Yes,
City normal, by the way.
yes,
So that Turkey could get
yes.
approval
A
from the
fo- hey,
fire
hey, wait, hold
department
on.
to build their
Hold
thing.
on. That's a foreign agent for Turkey. That's representing Turkey. It's like lobbying.
Yeah, he took
It's like
money like into his
Apex.
own coffers in order to push the fire department to allow them to get a variance for their building, which is standard New York real estate bullshit.
Oh, he's gonna get it in jail.
Yeah, they're gonna prove it. They're gonna prove that he took a bribe. They're gonna take him down.
What are we talking about?
Well, apparently
The
the
Eric
bribe
Eric
was
mayor.
a
Adams.
free.
Adams.
Apparently the bribe was a free upgrade on his flight to
Fuck.
Istanbul.
Uh-huh.
All
Where
So
Let's
politicians are
the
who's
go,
bribed.
mayor
man.
of
Get
New
these
York?
who's the
leftists out.
practicing mayor in the interim?
Who's
What's
what?
that, Mayor?
Who's the
No pun
practicing
intended.
mayor?
It's
Like,
like
how does
it's
it work? Who
payback
takes
for the
over?
vaccine
He
mandates.
Is
said
he
he's not
still?
resigning.
He
Man,
wasn't
Ninja's
there
going
by the
after him because
vaccine
he's black.
mandate. My God,
Have
that's
Yes,
any
right.
it's
have
because
any
he's
of you
black.
seen
That's
that
right.
That's in the
the
indictment
the
because
Jay
of
That's
the
a
Varma
set of
guy
the
in New
vaccine.
York?
indictment. Being black by being mayor, because he's the only black mayor in America. They had to take him down.
That's right.
That's
They
You
right.
see, the
specified
state
that
is still racist.
We're in New York City,
He's
they
so
racist.
said that in the
Well,
Black
it's
indictment it
the
says that
America,
it's
that's
because he's
insane.
black.
it's the best nation. Hmm.
It is the best nation. Give me a
Every
better
It's
one.
city
the
has a
best
mayor. He's not the
society,
only black
right?
mayor.
He's the
It
only
is the
black
best
mayor, and
nation.
that's why he
Give
got
me a better
arrested.
one.
That's
No,
insane.
what about the
What's a better
alien in
country
Chicago?
than America?
No.
Kuwait is much better than America.
Kuwait can suck my balls.
Why would you
Oh
Whoa,
my
want that?
God.
oh,
Give
Why
me a
Simon,
would
that's
better
a new one for you.
give me a
The
better
whole country
Lori
is
give me a
getting red
better
likes
hot.
country than
Chicago.
America.
London Breed, San
There's so
Francisco.
many
Keisha
I
Lance
said
Bottoms,
the alien
Atlanta,
looking
and
There
we're
is
in
dude. This
not
Dallas.
a
entire
single
country
country
can suck my
better.
balls.
so many countries, Simon.
There is not a single country on this planet
Simon, it
that
kind of
is better than
shows.
America.
Do you travel? Do you travel to other
Simon,
countries?
where do
I've
you
lived
live?
in
I
7
do.
countries. I'm
Simon, have
not
you
even
ever
30
been
yet.
outside the United States
Yeah,
ever?
that's a good question. That's
Simon's not from
definitely
the
Yeah,
a
you
good
U.S. He's
see,
from
Simon?
Canada.
Yeah,
I've never
I'm
been
not
outside
even
the
from the
U.S.
US.
What's
Yeah,
it
I'm
he's
like?
not
Is
even
it
from the
Canadian.
nice?
US. I'm not 30 years old and I've lived in
Stop
7
lynching
countries.
Simon. Let him talk.
No, but go ahead. You can ask me. I've been to over 40 countries.
Ask an
God
objectivist.
damn.
40
That's
European,
40 out of
40,
150. That's not many.
No, I've been to Africa. I've been to
40
South
European
America. I've been to
countries.
North America. I've been
Man,
all over
Simon's really
Europe.
trying to
40
emulate the people
European
without a country
countries.
thing.
Wait, the country South America or the state?
Wait, are you
I
Jewish? Were
said
you
I've been
thrown out
all
of all those
over South
countries?
America. I've been all over Europe. I've been to Africa.
Africa's
I've
a
been
He's
all
all
over
not
over
a
the
Europe.
place.
Wait,
Africa's not a country, Simon.
Europe the country or Europe
What?
the band?
It's not a
Africa
country.
the
What?
country.
Stop with
Africa
these
is a
nonsensical
country.
questions.
Africa the city.
Yes,
I've been to
Simon.
several
God,
countries in
I
Yes,
love
Africa,
Simon.
Africa
Yes,
City. The
Simon. But are
food is
you
so good.
certified in political science? Do you have a
but
degree that says you can understand the countries you've been to?
yeah, that's right.
I've
And
been to
Simon, do you
No,
wish
India.
that they were all
no,
California
no.
girls at the end?
That's a good point.
No,
Yeah.
I've lived in Sweden, so take
Yeah,
that as
I
well,
a.
mean, it's not even close. America being better than
He
all the other
speaks
countries.
Yeah.
It's not.
Swedish.
It's not
right.
even like a. Not even a fair
Hijabi
matchup.
girls in Malmo.
Huh.
But you
Yeah,
have not
Malmo is
been
a
to
shithole.
Guatemala.
That's
Ooh.
not a
Mm.
country. That's
You're not
a
missing
shithole.
much, Simon.
That's a
And
shithole, not a
that,
country.
that's not an accident. Yeah, that was by intention.
Simon, do you want to get a tropical disease or get killed by a fucking tiger?
A little
What do you
bit.
mean?
Go to
You want to get
What do
Guatemala.
you mean? I
bobflies
get
Or
in your
go
fucking
to
hair
India.
and
kidnapped.
on
There
your
you
arms?
go.
Or get kidnapped, yes.
Getting
Yeah,
You
you
killed
want
don't
to
India?
get
belong to
is
getting
bobflies?
bad
tropical
enough.
disease, motherfucker.
For that, you just have to go to Mexico.
Or you could just stay in America.
Yeah, but no. Let's get
Yeah,
back to
that's true.
AB.
You can just
So
stay in
so yes, AB.
America.
To answer your question, yes,
Simon,
I've traveled outside of America.
did any country still do the donkey show?
Yeah,
I don't even know
Donkey
what that
show?
is.
Mexico.
Tijuana, yeah.
At your
The guy
mom's
gets you a good
house.
price. Hey, big
No,
bird.
not at my mom's house. Okay. Anyways, yes, AB. I have
She says
traveled.
she's dead. That's why she died.
No,
She
I
died
didn't
doing
say
what
that
she
at all.
loved.
Donkey
That's
fell
not
on her.
funny. That's not funny. My mom is gay.
Because she
What?
has
What's your
sex,
point?
right? Because
Wow.
someone said that having sex is gay. Who said that?
I think
The
AB
Donkey
thought
Tribe
that I
said that.
said that Africa is a
Nick
country
Fuentes
where
said
I've
that.
been to
That's true, but
Africa,
he is
like
gay.
several countries within that continent.
Why he has sex.
Because you said I've been to Latin America, this, and then all of a sudden
I
you
said
just
I've
went,
been to South.
I've been to
I said I had
And he
been
Africa.
said I've
South
been all.
America.
He said I've
I've
been
been to
all over
North
Europe,
America.
all
I've been
over
Europe,
Anyway,
Africa.
and
yeah,
I've
Are
been
you
to
a
can
Africa.
we
And then
talk?
you
Can we
choose
bring it
to.
back?
I've been to Detroit and I helped the guy push his cart, and I think he's from Somalia.
I love the Jews. All my ex-boyfriends are Jewish. All the guys that have ever done anything for me that was significant were Jewish. I love the Jews.
Nice.
Hey?
Well, thank you for your
Well, we
statement.
don't love
There you
you.
go.
Yeah, I
Uh,
wish.
Nura has put you on the list, and there we go.
Alice for
Yeah.
what?
Do you
Simon,
think that you're
you
going to get
traveled all around the
shekels
world
just
to play
because
with
you come in
balls.
a? Do you think you're gonna get
Please, somebody,
shekels just
God
because
kick
you come in a
Navita.
room and say you
That
love the
that
Jews?
dumb cunt was in the last room, and she sucks all the air out of the room.
She's a cuntian.
Who is this? Is
Yeah,
Oh
this
let's
my
be
God,
gentlemen about
Navita's like the
this.
worst human being. She's
Oh,
just trying to push her
is
OnlyFans.
is this
Yeah.
Rich?
Do you have her
Yeah, it's
number?
me, Lisa. What's up?
How
What
Why
much
number
are
does
is
you
it
not
it?
say?
following me on this account, Rich?
Huh?
You,
Oh,
you
I
don't.
have
You don't have to
800
answer that.
accounts.
anyway.
Right.
I
Anyway,
Go
love
ahead,
what?
Navita. Tell us
OnlyFans.
about how you live in Los Angeles and how you do OnlyFans.
Okay, what are you looking for here in this room, Niveda?
I thank you.
The subscribers.
Bye, Navita. Enjoy doing OnlyFans.
God,
Huh?
don't be
One's
such a
gonna
nerd.
subscribe.
Who said
Wait,
I
did
do
you say
OnlyFans?
Norman might.
lonely fans? I
Mm-hmm.
have a lonely fans
I
page.
don't know
that's
anything about
that's
that.
right up Norman's.
Don't know
You're not
anything
a
about
lady of
that.
the night, right?
I
No,
sell
but
NFTs.
I have a
So,
lonely fan page.
You don't belong to the
Lonely
streets.
fan.
Lady of the night. I love that phrase.
It don't be-
I sell
It,
NFTs, so you can have one if you want.
is
Yes.
there a halal OnlyFans?
Halal OnlyFans.
Tell us more about how the Jews have
Yeah.
treated you nicely
I
everywhere you
really
travel.
like the yarmulkes. They're really cute.
Okay, what do
Thank
you
you.
like to do with the yarmulkes?
Use
I
them
put
as
them on my
condoms.
boobs.
She's
She
busted
wants
with
to
a
sew
pussy.
them together,
You
Ah,
two of
see,
them
she's a
together to make a bra.
heretic. She's
no,
talking
because they're big
Sew
enough
two
heresy.
to
together,
cover
you can
both.
make
I put them on my boobs.
a bra. Yeah, just sew two of them
Oh,
together.
To
Yeah.
cover very large areolas, right?
Whoa.
No, they're really, really tight and nice and cool.
Are they hairy?
No.
It's not what I heard.
Whoa.
Ooh, what else did you hear?
Guys.
Are you a Muslim?
No,
What?
my ex-girlfriend was though.
Oh
Do
my
you
God, you're a lesbian.
Do you wear an ankh
Muslim.
around your neck?
an
No,
unk?
I'm not Hotep.
Do you?
Okay.
But
See,
no,
she
no. But
knows. She
are
knows.
you a
Yo,
He
Muslim?
does.
lesbian Muslims is wild.
I,
I
yeah,
have
I
the
don't think
Muslim
that
flag
She
that's.
didn't
tattooed
I
say
on
she
my
don't
was
think that
Muslim.
eyeball.
She
that's
said her
possible.
ex was a
How
Muslim.
can you be?
I have the
How
Yeah,
Muslim
can
but
flag
she
someone?
said
tattooed on
Hold
her
my.
on,
ex.
hold on.
Check the
She
How
chat.
can
she
Check the
someone be?
chat.
Okay,
that would be a
Check the
lesbian as
Nora.
chat.
well.
Check
Can
the
you be
chat.
a
Just check the
Muslim
chat.
and be a lesbian?
No, you can't.
I don't
That's why
think
we
that is
broke up.
accepted.
For
You see,
long,
you
you
Haram,
guys are
That's
can.
why
not
we
haram,
that
broke up.
open.
haram.
You could
It
be a
is
Muslim
haram.
lesbian for about 45 minutes.
Wait, but then, so what did the
Wait, you
other
can't be
wives
a
do then?
lesbian and be a Muslim, but you can be a homosexual and a Muslim
But
because
see,
Muhammad
yeah,
got
that is
mounted
the
by
that that
black
is the
men.
problem. Like they come to our countries
She
and
was
then
Muslim.
they
I'm
will.
Hindu. She was Muslim.
Yo,
Right.
Issa, you keep saying they come to our country. What the hell
That's
are you
right.
talking about?
It is
Ooh.
true.
Isa, isn't it true that
Check the
Muhammad
chat.
got
Just check
mounted
the
by eight
chat,
black
and you'll
men?
see everything.
Eight
Just
left
check the chat.
shoulders?
Yeah, and they would go
Yeah.
after people that have same-sex preferences, and I don't
Like
think that
Prophet
that's
Muhammad.
compatible.
Yeah, well, check
You
the chat, and you'll see everything.
you guys are so haters.
Yeah,
Everyone knows the gayest country in the world
go
is
try.
Israel.
I was gonna say, go try. Have you tried?
I'm not
Well,
even joking,
where
Nona.
was
You've
your
That's the
clearly
stat.
girlfriend
never been to
from,
Saudi
Nivera?
Arabia.
Nivera, where was your girlfriend from?
She was from Eritrea. She's from like in Africa, South African. She's from Eritrea.
Did you say
She's
Eritrea?
Eritrean.
Did you say
She's
South
Habesha.
Africa?
He said
Eritrea is a
Eritrea.
I don't
city.
understand what
No,
Eritrea.
she's saying.
Eritrea.
Eritrea, we say.
Yeah, it's north of
She's
Ethiopia,
South
guys.
Ethiopia.
African. She's Habesha.
Did
Ethiopia.
someone say
Is
that's
is that a
Ethiopia?
Muslim country?
Dead.
Yes.
It's a city.
Did you try to visit her
Eritrea is a
country?
country.
That's why I just said
Separated from
Eritrea.
Ethiopia after the
The
It's
war.
pronounced
size of a city.
Eritrea.
Yeah.
I just want
Yeah.
to know if she ever visited
No,
her
she's an
girlfriend's country
immigrant. She's
with
an
her
immigrant.
girlfriend.
Yeah, but I got the
Were you
Muslim
able to
flag,
be? Were you able to have a
a
girlfriend
public
in
relationship
No,
with
you
her.
Eritrea?
can't even
No,
be a journalist in
no,
Eritrea. They'll kill you. If Norman
no.
was there, they'd
Exactly.
kill. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we cannot be public at all. And I felt so bad for her because I was already
Exactly. You
out.
cannot be a lesbian
Norman,
or
go to
She
gay in a
Eritrea.
cannot be a
Muslim
no, she
country.
cannot. Like she can't even move out of her parents' house unless she's married to a man that's also Muslim.
Based?
Very
I'm
base.
Okay,
serious. It's
so
really, really traditional.
That's
Like
pretty
how?
cool.
What did you
she
think
like
about? How did you feel about being a lesbian, being a Muslim?
no, it wasn't me. It was her.
Yeah, but
She's
Like
how
a
did you feel
lesbian and
about
you're
it?
not, right?
she was
She,
Muslim
I
and a
told you this
lesbian.
girl
I'm not
sucks the air
Muslim.
out of every room.
Which country?
It really hurt because she can't come out. She can't like tell people that she's gay.
Right,
Which
But
country?
everyone knew that she was gay, obviously, because we were dating.
right.
And I was like
why would
DJing and
everybody know that she's
everything.
dating you?
And like we were together. Like everyone obviously saw it. But if her parents ever saw that shit, yo, like it would be hell on
Right.
earth. Like they would cut her
They would agree
off.
with the
Like
American
literally, they
Psychiatric
would like
Association.
literally like denounce her. Like
Cut
you
her
know what I'm
off or cut her
saying?
head
Like
off.
they yeah, they would stone that bitch. Yeah, they would stone her
Wow.
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
they would kill her. Yeah.
They would definitely kill her for sure. Like if
Sahih
they
Which
ever
Bukhari,
found out
Volume
about
4,
that shit,
Book
I'm
52,
not
Hadith
lying.
260.
Which country is she from?
Eritrea, she's
Eritrea.
Eritrean.
Eritrea.
That's actually probably perfect for a relationship, right? Because you could be like, hey, you
What?
should do the dishes, or I'm calling your dad and telling him.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
dishes, anything. We were
Great.
just, I just feel bad for her because she was older than me and she can't
lesbians don't
be
know how to cook.
gay
Right.
She was
Did
willing
she
to
have
die for
because
Medicare
of
you
Part
to
A
let
and
her
her.
B?
religion and the way that she
Did
was raised.
wait?
Yeah,
She
Did
can
Asian
did
fix
the
your
religions
car
still
though.
family?
kill
Did
people
her
who
family
live there.
know that you were the girlfriend?
It's like
No.
after like 2 years, I was like, come on, like they had to have figured it out. But she had this white boy, he was Jewish, obviously, that she was
What
Hmm.
do you mean?
dating, and
Obviously.
Obviously.
yeah, and he was like her pawn to
Right.
move out of her parents' place to like.
Here.
But
He's
she's
an
Jew.
Eritrean Jew.
She's Muslim. How do you
There's
mean
lots of those.
she's
Yeah,
got the
dating
I
a
Jewish
Jewish
know,
boy
blood?
right?
is probably worse than
I
being a
know, it's
lesbian,
crazy.
no?
Obviously he's a Jew.
He's a
He
Jew.
went to Chabad of Eritrea.
Yes,
Your girlfriend was all over the place.
she was amazing. She was like my saving
The
grace.
hell?
Hmm.
She was a
She's
lovely
gonna
woman.
be
She was the
together.
most talented
Today
woman
is
I've
your
ever
lucky
met in my
day.
life.
Why did you
Today
break
is your
up with
lucky
her?
day.
We
Lesbians
never
You
only have to
broke
pay
up
technically
with
half
broke
her.
price
up.
today.
I just she wanted to stay in Atlanta, and I'm from Atlanta, and I moved to Los Angeles.
So you left
Hashtag
her.
OnlyFans.
I didn't leave her, but I don't want to be with someone that can't be gay.
You
So
dumped
you
her.
Like
left.
that's like baggage I don't want to deal with.
She was
Yeah,
willing to
it's
die for you.
justified, but you
Then
still
you
left.
No,
shouldn't
she
have
wasn't
dated a
even willing to die
Muslim.
for herself.
No,
Then you
she
A
shouldn't
willing
have
to
Muslim
dated a
die for
lady.
you,
Muslim.
and you left her.
She was Muslim, yeah.
Yeah,
And like the
next
first
time
time I
don't
went to
date
a
a
mosque with
Muslim is what I'm
her,
saying.
they were like, yo, you're like sitting, you're sitting not right. Like you're sitting like here. You're supposed to be sitting over there, and it's like in this closet. Like women and men don't pray in a mosque together. Like it's like back
Is that
door.
true, Nuda?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a mosque. Yeah, so
So
like the women and the
so if
children
you,
pray
the
somewhere in the
women
back.
the women are in the back, the men are in the front,
Yeah,
and
the
it
men are
should
in
be
the
an open
front.
area. But
And
it's
I
an
was
open
like, and I
area.
sat in the front, and I was like looking so cute, and she was like, "Oh my god, no!" And I was wearing like this nice chiffon, like pink, like
Issa, just so you know, she's making
everything. And
all
then
this
she was
shit
like,
up
"You
for
can't sit
attention.
here." And then I was like, "Yo, you
In
want
the
to bring me
last
to a
room, she was
mosque?" And
straight. In this room, she's gay.
I have to sit in the
Oh,
She
back
just
really?
likes
to
attention. Yeah,
pray.
she literally just
Have
makes
you ever
everything up
been
for
to a
attention.
mosque before? It's intense.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
we go every day.
She's
Oh, so
making
you're
all this
making
shit
wow,
up
things
so you
off
up
the
like
as you
that?
fucking
go,
fly.
Nivera?
That wasn't cool.
Nivera, are you just making things up as you go?
Yep.
Yeah,
No,
she'll answer
Yes.
that truthfully
I'm
because
not
you
making
asked.
anything up.
One of
Everything
my
I'm
one
saying
of
is
my
validated.
Yeah, I'm
one of
sure
my
ain't.
good friends had passed away, and he was Muslim. And when we went to the funeral at the mosque, my mom was freaking out because they actually segregated all of the women
I
into
just
like
said
this
that.
like. Okay, I
Yeah,
just got
nobody
here. I
cares,
wasn't.
Navita. You're making stories up. No one gives a shit.
He's literally about to say exactly what I just said.
Okay, well,
Nivera,
I
but
wasn't
why
here. I
does
just got
Rich?
here.
Why does Rich say that in the other room you were straight and in this one you're
Yep. And she was pushing OnlyFans.
gay?
Because I'm cool.
But when did
So
you
you're
start hating
cool?
In
What
men?
the
does that mean?
chillism
You're
room,
cool?
she was pushing OnlyFans.
First of all, what were you saying? Did you say that the women and the men were separated in a mosque?
I
That's
don't know.
Yeah,
right.
I just said that.
Why are they?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
they
mom
are
when I
always.
went to see like basically all the men got to see my friend in the casket, and then like once all the men left, then they brought the women.
Right.
Right. What
And
I
when
just
did
said.
your mom start getting
Yeah, I
horrified
don't
by
know what
Muslim
you just
women?
said. I don't know
Oh
what you
no,
just said. I just
I
got
said
back.
what you just said.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Thank you.
Cool.
I was
Because
always
they
the
thought I was
first.
just making this shit up. I was like, have y'all ever actually been to a mosque before? It's like
No, I
We
segregated.
all
haven't.
know how
Yes, I
fucking
have.
mosques work,
No,
Navita.
that's
Shut the fuck
not the
up.
part that
Why
he
you guys say
accused you of
fucking?
making up.
I have, and I entered without the thing in my head.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Ooh,
why.
yeah
big no
they
no.
gave that to my mom. They're like and
That's
and
what
and
happened when I entered
I
into a
tried to
synagogue
go to the
without the thing on my
mosque.
head.
I tried to go to a mosque. Basically, when we went to the mosque, my mom was with me, and they're like, "Oh no, you can't enter where the man does." And then they put her to like the side of the like a side entrance on like the side of the building. My mom was like, "What the
Wow.
fuck
I
is
just
this?"
She said, "I'm shocked that
thank
you
you so
guys have
much.
your
I
own
just said
house
the
rules."
same
I'm
exact
shocked.
thing, and they
Based.
thought I was making
Okay,
that shit
one
up.
question for you, Diego,
Thank you
and
for
for
Yeah.
you,
saying that. Thank
Rich.
you. Just thank you. Just
Okay,
thank you because
Nivera,
they
You're
hold
thought I
on,
was
hold
welcome.
making
on,
that shit
honey.
up.
You're welcome.
Thank you
So,
so much.
Rich and
They
You're
Diego.
welcome.
they put girls in
Wait,
the
Oh
that
my
doesn't
section
mean
in the
God!
that doesn't
corner
mean
in
your
the
Everybody
story
back.
is
say goodbye
true.
to Nivera.
Thank God.
I mean, this nigga just said everything that I just said.
We
Yeah,
don't say nigger in here.
no,
Oh, he said
Anyway,
nigger. Oh, that'll
Rich.
be it.
not on Thursdays.
Oh,
Yeah,
Please don't even
Navita, we
talk.
don't use that kind of language in this room. Sorry, you'll have to
No,
leave now.
Yeah.
no, not on
Oh wow,
Thursdays.
It's
why
actually
why?
funny. I don't think I've heard someone in the room actually say that besides like
Yeah,
Ish
it's
when
real
like
funny.
he's like not in jail.
I mean, Navita, it's okay if you
Grown
say
people
if,
say it
it's okay
now.
if you say sand nigger, but not nigger.
oof.
I never said nigga.
Right.
What? I said nigga. I never said
The
nigger.
blacks are off limits when it
Oh
calls
my
What's
them
the
God.
difference?
insults, but the
Oh
Arabs, it's
wait,
fine.
now there can be blacks in this room. Jesus Christ.
Okay,
Nobody said
so
that.
And she's
Diego,
blaspheming.
Hey,
Yes, ma'am.
when
shut up,
We're
Jesus,
Jews. We're
Monkey.
not
Shut
hold on,
up.
racist. We just hate it,
I have a
Arabs.
question for you, Diego. When
Yes.
Jesus comes back, when Jesus returns,
If they're
My
what
favorite subject.
what do you think he will do first? Where do you think he will go first? To a church or to a synagogue?
Amazing.
Or to a mosque. Isa, add that as
No,
well.
no, no.
Costco.
Mosque
He,
is
yeah,
not
he's
Add
gonna
right.
go.
that.
He's
A
gonna go
mosque.
to
Well, seeing that
Costco.
Jesus doesn't exist in Islam, that's Isa
Guys,
been
guys,
married,
Right.
this
which is
is
a totally
easy.
different person.
He's He's gonna go to
He's
Jesus
gonna go
IMN.
certainly
to
exists
the.
in
Oh my
Islam. Everyone
God,
shut up. The question
Diego,
was to
tell
Diego.
me.
There were no
Uh,
churches when Jesus was around, so it has to be a synagogue.
No,
no,
this
because Because
is
remember,
easy.
he said synagogue of Satan. And then he said,
Okay.
No, 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 no,
on
no.
this
No,
rock I
synagogue
will
of
build my
Satan is
church.
specifically
He
talking
didn't
about
say
a
on this
religion
rock
that
I will build my
He
espouses
never,
synagogue.
different
he
teachings
never,
than
I
Christ.
mean, Diego,
See,
think
this is
about it.
how I
He
know
never
that none of you
visited
guys
a
are
church.
actually
The
religious
church was
because
So,
the
like
founded
the
actual
after
Mormons, the
him.
correct
Jehovah Witnesses,
answer
those would be the synagogue of Satan.
is he's
But he
obviously
said, on
gonna
this rock I will
go.
build my church, not my synagogue
Yes,
or my
but
mosque.
Obviously,
he, hey, hey,
the
hey.
first
But
place
when
he's gonna go
he
is
never
a
visited, he never
farm
went to pray to
because
a
he's got to
church.
see a man about a donkey.
He always went to
He already got the
synagogues,
donkey.
right?
Wait, what?
He
Is
always
that a
went to
real story?
synagogues.
That's like the
Okay, shut
only
up. Lisa's
identifying
trying to
feature of
talk.
the
What?
Messiah. He rides in on a donkey.
Okay, McZed, stop.
Hey, Michael, guess what? That already happened.
Basically, Isa, when he's on earth,
Diego,
he
why don't
is the
you tell
church.
why don't you tell me what happens when Jesus comes, and then I'll tell you the Islamic version, you tell me the Christian version.
Who cares about the Islamic version? Happened
He
like
has
seven
everything
years,
because he has
Nobody
free
cares
7 years
about the
will.
When
Islamic
after.
Islam
Jesus
version.
doesn't
No one
comes,
have
he
cares.
leaves her in
Jesus.
the
Isa
bed
been
and goes
married.
back
Nobody
to
That's a
playing
totally different
Xbox.
person.
After he comes, he smokes a
That's a
cigarette.
Gnostic Jesus.
Yeah, that tracks.
Oh, Isa been married.
Okay.
I think he's going to Disneyland.
That's true.
I can't
No,
blame him.
I
Disney, no,
Too
Disney
dark.
I
World would
care
be
about the
better.
Islamic version. I like that idea.
Nobody dies at Disneyland.
Nobody likes California.
I think he's most definitely going to go to Costco. This is the place of worship of
Who
his.
the
Ooh,
hell wouldn't
Costco.
go to
Yes.
Costco if they're
Even LA
I'm
resurrected?
Jews.
actually going to Costco right now. That's hilarious.
Who's
Seriously, a
pissing right
poor
now? I heard that.
carpenter Jew from
Hey,
Nazareth, he
Issa, I
would
have a
go
better
nuts
question for
inside of
you.
Costco. He'd love that place.
One
Issa, I have
Meyer,
a better question. If Jesus ever comes back, what country would he go to first?
Israel.
All right,
Israel.
America.
obviously,
Wait, who
America,
said they
those
hate
Who the
are
hell
Israel.
cares
America?
about
obvious
Texas,
Israel?
ones. He
Texas,
comes to
America.
America.
He's
He's going to
definitely not going to
Texas and
go.
he's getting
He's
himself
not
a
going.
gun.
He's not going to go to
Who
Rome.
tagged me
He's
back
going to
in?
go
Who
to
tagged me back
Israel.
in?
And he's not gonna ride a donkey. He's gonna ride a
He's
proper
gonna go to
Mustang.
Russia. Everyone knows that.
What?
He's gonna ride a
Riding a
proper
donkey.
Mustang.
And he goes to Eritrea. Maybe he'll go to Eritrea.
Who the hell
Yep, he
cares
might
about
stop there.
Eritrea? America.
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 No, no,
America.
no. That's the version of the Mormons that he came
Morons. It's
back.
pronounced
The
morons.
Morons that he came back to the U.S. He already came
Dum
back to
dum
the
dum dum
U.S.
dum dum
Dum
dum
dum dum
dum
dum
dum
dum.
dum
Yeah,
dum dum.
exactly. With Joseph Smith. Dum 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 dum.
Smart, 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 smart,
You
smart,
know,
smart.
I grew up. I'm from the place that that show is based on.
South Park? That's cool.
That's
I'm
right.
a
Yeah,
Family Guy.
South Park.
Have you been to Casa Bonita?
What?
How many
Casa
white people are
bonita.
talking right now?
How many do you got?
Not enough white people.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
it's
That's right.
White History Month, I guess. White Power Month.
By
How
the
did
way,
she get
just to
No.
back in here?
give you a fun fact in the
Did
Islamic
she realize
version,
she's in a room with a bunch of
Jesus
Jews? Yeah.
actually comes to Damascus, Syria. Just to
I'm
give fun
actually,
fact.
I'm actually
Fun fact.
considered. I was considered black 150 years ago. So just
Me
relax with
too,
that.
because we're Italian.
God,
That's
you
right.
look good for 150.
And we got our reparations, so we did it better than the
Simon,
blacks, and we're not even
Simon,
That's
did
considered
right.
black anymore.
Simon,
Hey,
have you
wait,
noticed
wait.
any other
Didn't
changes
the
in the
sign
last
used to say
150
no?
years?
Didn't the sign
Wait,
used to
sorry, what did
say
you say,
no
Mayor?
blacks, no
Like, have
dogs,
you
and no
noticed
Mexicans?
any other changes in the last 150 years?
I thought it said no Jews and no
Uh,
Mexicans.
Yeah, the first
No, it
time
was
the divine
yeah,
ran
no
came.
blacks, no
a
dogs,
few.
at the very bottom,
Yawn.
no Jews.
Yawn.
Okay, I'm kicking you.
Who's yawning?
Yeah, I'm not listening to some retard.
Thank
All
God.
right, I'll leave.
Like yawn. Like who cares what you think? Leave.
Who was yawning? That
Yeah,
girl that
I don't
make
wanted
know.
like
more
a
Some.
tree
attention?
and leave.
It's the Californian girl.
Okay.
And these people. Honestly,
Is
I
like
anybody
wish
is anybody
they
excited
all
to
I'm just
see
gonna
that?
start
treated
calling
California
Californianism
girl.
like
Is anybody excited to see that Israel's going to invade southern Lebanon?
yes.
California.
No.
It's fucking amazing.
It
Mana
I'm
is.
not
It is.
Shuna
excited at
Moker
all.
Hazeh.
Because King Kong ain't got
Mayor,
shit on
they're going
Israel,
to
right?
wipe their fucking ass. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, I want
That's
Hezbollah to
right.
be wiped out, but I don't
I
like
make
that it
so
has to
much
be
No,
money
I
off
done.
want
these wars.
Hezbollah wiped out and all their
Yeah,
sympathizers.
me too, but I don't like that it has to be done. I'm not happy that there's a
No,
war.
I don't. I would rather
Yeah,
it
we'll
not be
never
done, but it's
forgive
got to
them
be
for
done.
forcing us to kill their children, right, guys?
Right.
No, why is children dying bad?
It's
I don't know. You
profitable.
Yeah,
tell me,
because no
Simon.
child has ever
Yeah,
died
You
in
tell
war.
me.
that's classic just war theory. You're an altruist, so I get it, but like,
I know you.
do
In
better.
your
Oh, she
world,
doesn't mind children dying. She'll
Children
take care of the
dying in
children.
war. This is the first time
Oh my
As
I
long as
know,
I can
like
make money.
to think that like, oh, women and children are off limits when it comes to war when I'm in a defensive position. Oh my god, like
Yeah,
how
chivalry.
could
What the fuck?
I? How could
Yeah,
I?
I mean,
Jesus.
they're just as much as soldiers as anyone else.
Yeah,
There's no
AB,
point even
trust me,
distinguishing them.
you
Dare they
don't have the
engage in
moral
war
high
and
ground in
hide
this
behind women and
position because
children?
you think women and children dying is like morally abhorrent. Like,
I
Okay,
think there's no limit.
let me give you a little
There's no
If
limit
I
to
education.
the amount
start a
of women
war,
and
yeah, go
children
Hold
that
on,
ahead,
die.
hold
educate
if
on.
me.
I
The
attack you and you
Geneva
respond, wait,
Geneva
wait, I just
Convention
want to set it up.
in
If I
1940.
Everyone, Jesus fucking Christ. Do any of you, there were literally five people speaking at once. If any one of you think that any one of you can be heard, there's something wrong with your brain. Ape, shut up and let somebody else speak. Diego, I don't think you were speaking then, but my God, you've been doing the same thing. And Norm, why in the middle of a clusterfuck of people speaking do you want to say hello?
Hello, Norman. Hello, Kelly.
I didn't say
Go
hello.
ahead, AB, educate me.
Do you want me to say
Yeah, I'll
hello?
educate you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, so the Geneva Convention 1949, open up your ears, listen up. The protocols say that address the protection of civilians.
Yeah, that's nothing. You're
Protection.
Like again, you're
Simon.
pointing to
Just
an
relax.
authority. You're
Simon,
pointing to an
let me
authority
just
though.
Breathe.
That
finish.
means
Breathe,
Let me
Simon.
nothing.
just finish. Let me just breathe in, breathe out. Okay, got it.
Okay, AB,
Protocol
just say it.
addressing
This
women,
is annoying.
children,
If
are
only you hit
people that are
ready,
not
you'd know that we're complying
so
with it.
Yeah,
yes,
you're
Try
giving me a
hitting it.
legal.
1947.
Try hitting it,
Again,
and then you'll know.
I said okay. So
Let
I
her
don't know if you can
talk.
make the distinction. No, but hold on. I'll just make the correction because I don't want to go in circles about the Geneva Convention. So I said you don't have the moral high ground, and you're giving me a legal theory. Like, why are you pointing to an authority to tell me what's morally correct?
I mean, like you can bomb the whole world if you don't want it to follow international law. So it's fine. It's all good, Simon.
Are you saying that without international law that like nations would just do whatever they want?
That's why they're there. That's
No.
exactly.
Hold on. Okay, so
Ooh.
you're saying that without that law, people would just bomb the shit out of anybody that they want.
Simon, selective outrage.
No, I think
Yeah, that's just that
it's
people would
more.
do. People would
So
do.
before the Geneva Convention, that people like America just bombed whoever they wanted.
I mean,
Yeah,
Israel
they
does whatever they want
that's
now.
exactly what they
I just
did.
asked you.
I'm
Before
sorry.
the Geneva Convention, America bombed whoever they wanted,
Yeah, whenever they wanted. Exactly.
whenever they
Yeah,
wanted. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
whenever they
essentially.
wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, who?
And you know this how? How do you know this?
Who did they bomb?
He
No,
picked
I'm
up a
asking how
history
do you
book,
know
but
that you
don't
would.
worry about it.
So I just want to be clear. If you attack somebody, they respond. That's genocide, right? That's your definition.
But forget that. I'm asking. Give me examples of America bombing people indiscriminately before the Geneva Convention. Give me examples.
Ooh.
Before the Geneva Convention,
Yes,
World War Two, World War
they
One.
bombed
Hiroshima and
How
indiscriminately.
did
Nagasaki.
They bombed
how did
indiscriminately.
can I ask you how World War
Dude,
Two
we
started?
all know it was indiscriminately.
We all know that.
Simon.
Okay,
Okay, so
okay,
that's it. We all
okay,
know.
okay. Hold
We
on,
do?
AB,
Do we
just a
all know
quick
what that
history
was
test.
I
then?
didn't know this. I didn't know
Okay,
this.
Okay.
Those were
wait,
cities of
AB, just a
production.
quick AB,
This is
AB,
news to me.
educate me. AB, educate me. A quick history test. Why did America get involved in World War II when its national policy was the cocoon, not to get involved in world politics? Why did we actually get involved?
I don't know. We're fighting. We're fighting with the Soviets.
That's
Wait, you
God.
true,
don't
Yo,
know?
right?
you
Okay.
actually
Oh
now
Yes.
my
fighting with the
God!
Hey,
Soviets?
relax,
I
This
rest
relax.
my
woman
Let's
is
case.
take it
I don't.
easy.
I
just.
don't know
Oh my
everything.
December
goodness
7th.
I
gracious. You
rest my
can't be
case.
so
Oh
fucking
my
Relax.
God!
She's
serious.
just a woman. She's just a woman, guys.
Holy
Take it
Christ!
easy.
No,
I
but
was
like,
fighting the
this is
Soviets.
what I mean by
That's the
this
best
is such
answer I've ever
selective
heard.
outrage. This is such selective outrage.
I
She's
tell
gonna
you,
It's
AB,
point
I
to every
could not have.
authority
you
to
couldn't
prove a
have been more
point.
wrong, AB. Just so you
AB,
know.
Holy
if I would have
fuck!
set up a scheme to show how wrong you are, I would not have written that
Yeah.
answer. You outdid my best expectations.
The fucking hell, man!
We
Like
That
this
got
is
was the
into
ridiculous.
World
dumbest.
War
This
One
is
December
just
without a
pure
7th,
fucking
selective
weapon.
1941.
outrage.
A day that
This
will
is
live
just
in
pure selective
infamy.
outrage.
Yes, and the reason that women can't be virtuous, Simon, is because even though she doesn't know these things, she's ignorant, we don't devalue her. She still has value.
Well,
I didn't say she
I don't
doesn't
know
have
about that.
value.
I
I
mean,
just
but you
said
know
it's
that
A
selective
value is
man,
outrage.
an
irrelevant.
ignorant man is a
Don't go
deplorable
and cry
person.
about women and children in Gaza when it's the Gazans who are initiating force. Okay,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna go and tell me, okay, so what happened October 7th then?
Oh yeah. That was the beginning of the whole conflict. Yep, you're right. No, I'm sorry.
Okay, when
See,
was the
now I'm
beginning
the
of the
That
ignorant one.
was
conflict?
that was
When
the
was the beginning of
beginning
the
of the
conflict?
war.
Tell me
Oh
a
my
starting
god.
point for the conflict.
Wait,
Give
did
me
the
a
war
Uh,
date.
start on October 7th or no?
I wish there was a
apparently,
record. I wish
I
there was a
said I
Did,
recording
said
of
the
did,
that.
initiation of force, and if you're gonna justify going in and literally indiscriminately murdering babies and women and
Mohammed,
children
please don't say the
indiscriminately.
question. Please don't say the
What?
question. It's just kind
What?
of
What
weird.
question? I'm making a statement.
Like, well, did it just start October 7th? It's kind of weird.
I didn't say I made a statement.
It sounds very
I said
ignorant. Oh,
October 7th. It's
I
not
mean,
ignorant. It's there is a specific date
Okay, I don't know
where
how to say this
there was
nicely,
the
but
initiation
based
of
on that
force.
level of knowledge of history, I really think you should stay mute for the rest of the conversation.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know a lot of things. Of course, there are
that is
things that
Okay,
I
true.
then
don't
you
know,
can't have an
but
opinion how
That's
the conflict
obvious.
started if you don't know. Like
We
by
bombed
definition,
whoever we wanted,
conflict
Can
of
I say?
what?
I'd
and
like
went
to
to
say
war too
something.
because of
I'd
the
like to say
Soviets.
something. So I just want to hear a little more compassion coming from you guys because this is clearly an
Okay,
uneducated young person. And I
right.
think that when she reveals that she doesn't know why the U.S. bombed Nagasaki and
You
Hiroshima,
don't give it
I
away.
know I almost gave it away. I
Ishmael,
almost gave it away.
the
I almost
the
gave it
Ishmael,
away.
problem.
Let me
Ishmael,
just finish, please. I'm going to go
Ishmael, I'll
back
be
on mute. Let me
nice.
just go finish, please. You don't have to take my encouragement to heart, but I am encouraging you to approach with compassion and say, okay, you don't know this. Now let me tell you. Nobody has
Yeah,
yet told her
Ishmael, you
the
know
answer.
what?
I
I
did.
would be
I
Okay,
did.
okay,
compassionate,
Ishmael,
but
that's a really good point.
when a person starts off by saying, "Let me educate you," and then goes off a complete like nothing
That's
This is
burger,
the arrogance of
like
youth, bro.
I'm,
But it's our
not.
it
job
has
as
nothing to do with
it's
arrogance.
our
This has
job
everything to do
as
with
Okay,
mature
don't
Ishmael,
start
that's a
off
people.
the
very good point.
discussion
It's
But
with
our
listen,
job as
"Let
listen.
me
good people
educate
to
you."
demonstrate, hey, it's okay, young person. You
Ishmael,
think
that's
that
a,
the U.S. got into the war for this reason. Actually, let me tell you, you can look this up. This is the reason why the U.S. got into the war.
Ishmael,
If you're this,
Ishmael,
if
okay,
you're this,
Ishmael.
Ishmael. No, Ishmael
sorry.
brings
The
up a good
reason
point.
that we are the way we are is because you and I grew up in a generation when people said stupid shit like that, we fucking punched them in the face and called them fucking retards.
Yeah,
I mean,
So
I
she
could go
deserves
without
it.
Okay,
I'm a
getting punched.
millennial. I'm
okay,
not
I
Gen
can go.
X.
Yes, you're a
Rich,
okay,
you
millennial. You're the
literally
same
have
generation
never
I
punched
am.
anyone in the
okay,
face
You're the
ever. I
same
would put money
generation
I
that
on
got
it.
never
punched
got
in the
punched in the
fucking mouth
face
and
for
called a
saying.
fuck.
okay. I agree with Ishmael. We can do this compassionately. The point here is that if you're going to make statements like "Let me educate you" and "Let me show you how America indiscriminately bombed people," because we all know that, but you don't know how the war started out, you probably shouldn't make that statement. America did
You're right
not
there.
want to
I
be
agree.
involved.
We'll do
America
it,
did not
Ishmael's,
want
but
to be involved in that war. America got involved in the war because Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. That was, I mean, 9/11 we could talk about, but besides for that, it was the last time that America was attacked on our own soil. And then America went in and started a two-front war and joined the Soviets in destroying Germany and destroyed Japan. So it was not
the
indiscriminate. It did not
Soviets were on our
initiate
side.
force. The Soviets were on our side. Now, that which is
British
also
and
an
French.
interesting part of history because we left half of Europe behind the Iron Curtain, and that's whatever. That's a long piece of history. But the point here is that you're alleging initiation of force, and you don't know the history. And if you look into Israeli history, you'll find out the initiation of force also came from the other side. Not on October 7th. You can go all the way back to 1929. You can go through the massacres in Tiberia. You can go through the massacres in Hamas. And you can go through how they told the British and the Jews, as soon as the British leaves, we will kill you all. And then they moved out of the way so they can do just that. But unfortunately, they lost and called that the Nakba. You could read the history. We can go slower. But the point is, the initiation of force did not come from the side that you're condemning. And you can read the history. Nobody even denies us.
Yeah, pretty much this, AB. The Arabs like to fucking try to punch people in the mouth, and they get fucking knocked the fuck out, and then they get up and cry about it. Oh, you hit me, you hit me. It's like, well, you just came at me with a fucking butcher knife, so I punched you in the fucking mouth.
No, that's
Rich,
fine.
have you ever considered
Thank
being
you,
less
Ishmael.
retarded?
What's that?
I said, have you ever considered being less retarded?
Stilgar, why do you have to be such a cunt?
Well, I mean, it takes one to know one, I suppose.
What did he
I
say
know.
that was retarded? I don't.
This like
The
punching
Arabs like
people
to
in the
cry
face stuff,
victim
this
after
like
they
bro
try to fucking attack
science
people.
Let's
fucking Gold's
let's
Gym
do it
They
this
come
nonsense. He
way.
after
does this every.
somebody with a fucking butcher knife and they get knocked the fuck out, and
Sugar,
then they get up
no,
and cry afterwards.
Rick, let's do it this way because I kind of like you. Can you spend the next 15 seconds thinking if you could do less retarded and get back to us?
That's a reasonable amount of time. Yeah, Mary, that's a fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to the original question, I just want to know why, like, the Geneva Convention is used as like the ultimate authority to dictate whether something is moral or not.
Because it has the broadest consensus among the world.
Why? I mean, that has nothing. Truth isn't determined by the majority.
Democracy begs to differ.
And
No, democracy
it's
just says
convenient.
that.
He says
It's
Democracy just
convenient.
Republic.
Republican.
50,
It's convenient to invoke it
51%
when you're
majority
losing the
wins.
war. Suddenly, these things become very important. As soon as you're on the losing side, suddenly it's the Geneva Convention. I mean, there was no Geneva Convention when they attacked, of course, but nobody would ever mention that. But the response now is the Geneva Convention.
Yeah, I'm just, well, again, I'm asking like the moral case and not the legal framework.
Okay, all right, Simon, I'll explain. The Geneva Convention was mostly forged by world powers, people that could blow up the entire planet if they put their minds to it. And they were announcing to each other, out of fear and maybe a sense of morality, that they weren't going to do that. Now, most of the world isn't capable of blowing up the world or even a small portion of the world. So those people are interested in the people that are able to blow up the world telling the rest of the world they're not going to do it in these particular Geneva conventional ways. And then they try to use those as the thing to stop the powers, because the powers obviously could blow up the world, yet somehow this piece of paper stops them. So they use it.
Right, but I'm saying that the piece of paper doesn't stop them. That's my point.
Yeah. So
Okay, well, okay, so then how are we using that as a
So
moral
what stops them
argument?
is altruism. Is that where you're going with this?
no, that's not what stops them. What stops them is more the concern of lookers on. What will people say of us if we bomb
Reputation.
all of Indonesia? What? What'd you say?
Reputation.
Yeah. I wouldn't say just reputation. It's reputation insofar as like it leads to practical problems, like oh, we can't get steel anymore because people don't like how much weapons we make.
So it's not. So okay. So it's about embargoes and the loss of
It's about
trading
cooperation,
partners. Okay.
right? The Geneva
There you go.
Convention
So it's
allows
based on selfishness.
yes. The
There
Geneva
you go.
Convention allows
Then
these
Simon
world
likes it.
powers that might, if left to their own devices, want to make use of their abilities to destroy foreign agents they
Now
consider to be harmful.
let me.
But the Geneva Convention limits them so that they can not have to worry about a power that's even bigger than they are that would think the same thing about them.
Now, let me ask you a question. Does Israel act like a businessman who cares about his trading partners, or more like a spoiled girl who asks her drunk father for money and he just says, "Here's all the money. Please don't spend it too quickly"?
Businessman. Why?
I heard that joke on YouTube as
Come
well.
on. Come on.
No, seriously, Diego, if you were
It
to
was a
think
good
of
joke.
like if you were to think of Israel as like a family, Israel in the military branch is the father smacking the shit out of someone that raped his daughter.
Ah, that's an interesting metaphor.
Oh,
That's an
back to
interesting metaphor.
metaphors.
Well, it's all about poetry for me. I can't talk morality with politics. I can't mix them together. So
Right, so don't.
I,
That's
I would I
that
would
was
never
my
think of.
entire well, that was my entire
Can
point
you
with the
talk
Geneva
to the room
Convention.
about the poetry of that example that I gave you? If the Hamas people would
Snowpiercer?
kidnap you and your family, and whether
Snowpiercer, yes.
they would rape you or rape your kids, and what was
The
your
Diego is
answer?
gay dilemma. I got you.
The Diego is it's the green eggs and ham dilemma because I will not do it in a house. I will not do it with a mouse. I will not do it with Hamas. I will
I
not
will
do
not
it
do
with
it
the
to
final
save my
boss.
infant child.
Not even if they would do it to your. I mean, the option is either they do it to you or they do it to your children.
I think it would actually be really funny if they took the green eggs and ham story and elaborated to like gruesome torture and he still refuses. That'd be fun.
He would refuse. That's the thing.
So then the
Yeah.
question is why?
Look, why
Why what?
refuse?
Yeah.
Correct.
Um,
For the
well,
Lord has
because
called you
because
so.
because there's a slave morality and there's a master morality, and I don't come from from the slave morality, so I can't do that. I can't kiss the ring like that.
That's some crazy white nationalist shit you've been drinking, pal.
I mean, it is what it is. Like some people live in this life, they're all nearly indistinguishable from animals, and if you push them hard enough, they will succumb. and then there's other people that like will fight to the death. I come from the latter.
But what
I'll
would you
just
tell to your
it's in my
children?
genes.
What would you tell to your children after you're all released and they say, "Daddy, why didn't you accept? I mean, like they raped us. How are you gonna look into your children's face, knowing that you allowed it to happen
With dignity.
and you didn't sacrifice yourself?
Yeah, Diego. How are you going
I
to
don't see that as a
explain what you
sacrifice.
allow Diddy to do to Bieber, Diego?
Really, you wouldn't
Well,
sacrifice yourself to not allow it to happen to them?
but it's exactly that type of mentality, which is why some parents give their children over to Diddy, to the diddler.
No, 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 no.
Like,
We're talking
of
about being
course.
self-sacrificial because you value the life of your children.
Isa, what he just said was, I wouldn't give them over to Diddy because that's exactly what people do who give them over to Diddy. It's nonsensical.
Yeah.
No, I think that there's a difference between, sacrificing yourself, like, for example,
So, Diego,
taking that
follow
extra,
up question. Follow
yeah,
up question. What would you sacrifice for your children to save them?
most things. I'm not a materialist.
No, not a materialist. Your ass?
No, but morally, what would you
Yeah.
sacrifice to save
Will
your
you
children?
sacrifice your ass for your children?
No, 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 no. I think what you guys are asking is, what principles would I violate for my children? That the answer is none.
Hmm.
See how it's different. See,
Okay,
you're asking me to put my children before God, and I'm sorry, that's not what I'm called to do.
if you were given a choice between Hamas raping and killing your kids, or them being saved by Israel and converting to Judaism, which would you choose?
Being raped by Hamas or converting to Judaism?
Correct.
I guess under your scenario, I guess I'd have to choose the latter, but I, but you're like already assuming that I would let them become Jews, which is not a thing. So I don't know. Like the question's kind of
I'm not.
weird.
I'm not assuming. I'm asking.
Well, your question presumes certain things, so you should ask a better question.
No. My question simply asks where on your priorities each fall.
I would say, I mean, this is absurd because it requires, in my worldview, you have to act in order to demonstrate preference. So it means little to nothing for me to just verbally tell you that I prefer Judaism over Hamas rape. Uh, but there, you got my answer. But see, the
Yeah,
fact
no,
that you
it's
guys,
meaningful.
the fact that you guys don't agree with me on this, right? The fact that you guys have a different
On
worldview, a
what?
different way of
No,
thinking,
no,
is
What?
why
I
you're going.
agree with
Agree
you
on what?
entirely.
The fact that you guys are this,
I
and I
choose
say this
Judaism
seriously.
over
Hold on.
Hamas rape too.
But let me say this seriously because this is the hard truth. You won't hear this from anyone else on the app but me. The fact that you
You're
guys, as an
special.
ethos, have walked away from countries when you get kicked out is why you're going to lose this war. Okay? I'm
What?
just putting it out there
What
because
does
I
that
see it for what
mean?
it is.
Who gets kicked out of countries? What are you talking about now?
What does it mean?
It's
Wait, Diego, what does it mean walked away from countries we were kicked out of?
That's so bizarre.
yeah, rather than
What
fight
does
to the
that
death,
mean?
meaning
Instead of
it would
fight
be
to the
more
death
honorable.
without you mean without weapons and without
Yes,
horses
without
and without
yeah.
money? You mean with
Well, if you're going to walk into someone's country and become a nuisance, maybe you should have armed yourself.
Well,
Okay,
who
so
said
let
we
me
did
but
let me
think
that?
just
with
oh,
Diego,
oh,
Who
oh,
said we did that?
Diego.
L Caleb, hold on. Let me just frame this first before you guys respond. You're being asked this by a Mexican who either himself or his family immigrated to America, where he has become a white nationalist. So go ahead and
Ah,
speak.
got it. Okay, cool. I don't think you
No, I
understand
didn't cross
the.
the border. The border crossed us.
Okay, I don't think you understand how the Jewish people moved around the world. It was mostly not by our choice, right? Pretty much all the time, right? And
Well,
so
that's what he's saying.
you're trying to say fight the empire, right? Nobody wins against the empire. Certainly not Jews.
That's how they became an empire.
That's pretty much right.
I mean, you're talking to a Mexican. That's the whole point, right? We got
What's
the
the whole point?
empire to leave. So I'm not gonna concede to that point.
What?
You think
We
you got
just
an
celebrated
empire to
Mexican
leave?
Independence Day.
You're run by a
We
bunch
just
of
celebrated our
gangsters.
Independence Day.
You're literally run by organized crime. You're proud of this? That's your big
Oh my,
success?
Yes.
that's not what I said.
That's what
Man,
I'm
come on.
saying. You are literally run by
No,
gangsters. And that's
Norm,
your
And
you're
by the
big
you're
way,
you're you're better than
and
this,
one
Norm.
that
and
that's your pride and
one
achievement?
correction, one correction. The
Gangster.
Mexicans actually built the empire. The Spanish Empire was built on the backs of Mexicans. Period.
I don't agree with that
I've
either.
never heard such a view of history in my life.
How do you mean?
No, no, no. It's you do some research on who actually
But
won the war in the
No, I
Philippines,
mean
who
what
actually
he
won the
said. What
majority of
he
the war.
said, not what you said. What he said.
do you see what I'm saying? Like, for example, Isa is telling you that if, as a native, if the Spanish came, he would give in. He wouldn't be part of that revolution, and
What?
that's her
The
choice. She
Spanish
has more in
came.
common with you
Well,
guys than she does with me
well,
in
she's a
that
woman.
respect.
What?
Hey, she's asking these questions to me as a man, as if she's got some some foundation to ask those questions. So I'm like, I'm telling you, and yes, it's true. Women are like that. I agree with you on that, and that's regardless of whether you're Jewish or Spanish or Indian or whatever. Women are like that. If they weren't, there would be no humans,
Hmm.
So
right?
you think genocide
And
is
yeah,
the
maybe my point
it,
is coming
it,
from my view as a woman, and this is the reason why. If I were your wife, and we would have our kids, and I was put in a situation where our kids and I would be in danger, you know, of being raped and killed, and the price to let us free is just that you take it on you up your ass. I would expect for that man to stand up for us, you know, and to save us because I am
or bend
trusting
over
him
to save
and
me,
Well,
our
please?
bend
children
over
are
is what you
trusting you.
mean.
I said that already.
Bend over is what, not stand up.
I said that already. You got to be fast in this room.
Looking up the
So your
but
idea
believe
of
me,
genocide
you will not
is that
respect that man.
your
Well, I
idea of
would because
genocide
he
is
saved my
that
life and he saved especially the life of our kids.
genocide is caused by a failure of the will on the part of the injured party, right? On
Whoa.
the part of the minority. When people are wiped out by an empire, it's because they didn't stand and fight. That's your
Right.
idea.
Look, maybe the Palestinians are going to be, killed into oblivion, right? There might not be any left.
That's their
But
choice.
but we but we
Not
will venerate
necessary.
them for their bravery against the
No.
empire. Like we will
No, nobody
say
venerates them,
these people
Diego.
had what it took.
No,
You
Diego.
guys are
Nobody
driving them into
venerates
the
them.
sea. You guys are driving them
No,
into
we're
the sea
not. They're
right now.
suicidal. No, we're not. They're suicidal cowards. Nobody offers peace at every moment if they want to drive them into the sea. Nobody provides humanitarian aid nonstop, over £1 million if you want to drive them into the sea. Nobody builds field hospitals if you want to drive them into the sea. They could put
Hmm.
down their guns at any time. That's not true with the genocide. The Jews weren't armed when they wiped us out. These guys are armed. They can put their guns down and the whole
Okay,
thing is
so
done. They can hang
likewise when
on.
the
They
German
can stop firing rockets and the whole thing is done. Today, I
okay,
can have peace by noon.
He's right.
Okay, so nobody
Say you
puts roller
agree,
coasters in
Diego.
a death camp. No one gives a
Admit
joy
he's
division
right.
full of
What are you
prostitutes in a
talking
death
about?
camp. No one
What are you
pays for a
talking about?
Havar agreement so that people can move
What
to
are you
Israel in the
talking
billions
about?
of dollars. I'm talking about World War II,
The-
dude. I'm trying to
It
say
doesn't
like
make any sense.
you're losing
Address
your
the
whole
question.
ethos is falling apart. Like it's not
No,
true what you're saying.
excuse me? It's not true that if they put their guns down, there'd be peace? It's not
That's
true?
correct. That's 100%
Okay,
correct.
No, that's not true. The
then you
peace is
clearly don't know
acquired.
what's
Hold on.
going on.
Peace is
How many
acquired
peace
through
agreements have we had? Diego, do
acquired
we
through
have peace with,
strength.
wait a second, do we have peace with Egypt, Diego? Why? Because we put the guns down and we gave them land. Do we have peace with Jordan? Yes. Why? Because they put the guns down and we have a peace deal. Do we have peace with UAE? Yes. Why? Because we agreed to peace. And if the Palestinians put the guns down, as we've offered them many, 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 many times, they would have peace too. Did we leave Gaza in 2006? Peacefully? Yes, peacefully. Not a shot fired. You just don't know the history,
No,
Diego. I'm
they left
sorry.
in 2005 and then proceeded to put a blockade within months
Oh,
Yeah, the
later.
blockade was because
again.
Hamas declared war.
No, it
Only when they
wasn't.
declared war.
They
Yes, it
they
was. You're
already
going to
had
have to look at the
they
facts.
already had control of the water. electricity, and
No, that's
everything.
incorrect.
People
Let's
They
not
people
not
listen.
allow
fucking
The sky
Palestinians
is
to
going to
go in
lower
and out
the.
of
The
Gaza.
sky is lowering the
They had a
conversation.
blockade. Everyone knows
Get
this.
rid of him. There was no. You don't know the
No,
history.
get
You
rid
don't
of
know
you.
facts.
Don't
You're
try to silence the
illegitimate.
truth.
You're
Wait, let's
You're
just have a
not
illiterate.
dialogue.
legitimate.
Okay, we got to get rid of this guy. I'm serious. He's
They
going to
don't like.
lower
They
the
don't like the truth. They
conversation.
don't like pushback.
You don't know the truth. You can't read. You're completely illiterate. You don't know when the
Norm,
blockade started. And if you knew it, you'd forget it in 1 second. You
Norm,
literally
you're
don't know
starting to
where
foam
Israel
at the
is.
mouth.
You know I'm not. You literally don't know where Israel is. You literally
That's
don't
sexy.
know what the river is and from the river to the sea. You know zero about this subject. You're merely a troll. You're an idiot. You're a foaming at the mouth, blithering, drooling idiot. You know nothing. Is that clear? Thank you.
Damn, it takes a lot to get Norman mad.
It's my failing. I have no patience for stupidity. It's a real failing.
You just kick him?
Yeah, they did, but they brought me back.
Okay.
He's foaming out the mouth because the facts are that Israel put
Because
a
of your
blockade on Gaza.
stupidity, schmuck.
They
Because of
put
your
the only
stupidity.
Foaming at
schmuck
the
is
Because of
ass.
your
What are you
yeah.
talking
The
ignorance.
only
about?
schmuck is you because you're upset
Because
about
of
the
your
facts.
ignorance. Because you
This
don't know when
You're
the
baloney
ignorant.
died
blockade
soon.
started.
Norm,
They put a
Stupid.
blockade on Gaza
Because
after they
which
Yeah,
withdrawal
year?
in
fuck Hezbollah.
2005.
What
Fuck
year?
Hezbollah.
What year? Why? What year? Why would we withdraw and then put a blockade? Idiot. What good would that do? Schmuck.
Norm, he's not
Diego,
coming
when
in
was the
hot today.
last
Let the guy
election
talk.
in Gaza?
Why let him
When
talk? He
was
talks
Hamas
every day.
elected?
Too much. What is Hamas's mission statement? Go read it.
Yes, in the mid 2000s.
Go read it.
Be more
Yeah,
specific.
Go,
yeah,
go
but
read
Norm, if
the.
I didn't
Go
know
read.
any better, you guys might not have from the river to the sea, but that's what I see happening. You're gonna
What are
drive
you
them into
talking
the
about?
sea,
Wait,
dude.
No,
wait,
they
wait.
have from the river to the Euphrates, the
Wait.
greater
Oh my
Israel.
God. To the
That's what they have.
Euphrates.
They,
This
they,
means
they
all
even
the
have the
way.
IDF soldiers having the patches on their
The
uniforms as we
Euphrates.
speak, as they committing a genocide
Wait,
in Gaza.
you want, we're going to
These
call
are
you Euphrates
facts.
from now on. This is who
That
you
that
want on
that
stage,
that's what they
Euphrates?
have. They want greater
Yes,
Israel.
Euphrates we have. Yes,
They have
that's where
greater
we're from,
Israel. They wear the
Euphrates.
patches on their
Our real
uniform while they're
country
killing
is
innocent
called
people.
Euphrates.
So that's
Yes,
the facts.
yes. The fact of the Israel is really called Euphrates.
They're
That's
trying
why
to
we have those
occupy
patches.
Lebanon. They've done it
Yes,
before. They
Euphrates
started the
is our
war
name.
there in '82.
Yes,
This is what
because
Israel
we're
does.
Euphrates.
And everyone
Absolutely.
knows after Israel
Yes,
withdrew their settlers from Gaza in
we're going to the
2005,
Euphrates.
within
Yes,
2006, they already had started
yes.
putting in a blockade. Why?
It's
Because
not
Well, that's
wrong.
what I said. We
they
disagreed
was
with that a minute
withholding
ago.
goods.
That's what you disagreed with a second ago. Now you said that we started right away. You don't even listen to
No, I didn't
yourself.
say they started right away. You're a liar.
Yes, you
No,
did.
that was
No,
your
you
initial
did.
position.
No,
No, I
that's
did.
not what you
I
said.
said months later.
You don't even listen to yourself.
Oh,
From the river to the sea, to the Euphrates. That's why we have those patches. Okay, can we get back to our? The reason we're in here is to have an intelligent conversation. Let's get back to it. So Diego, you were saying that essentially, um, you blame the victim when we suffer a
do you,
loss, right?
okay, blame the victim.
Yes.
Is that
So
based
the
on my
reason, yeah,
is that based on my the way I respond to the hypothetical question?
no, no, you said that the Jews didn't stand and fight. That's what you said. That's why
To the
Israel will be
extent that
gone.
to the extent that there were Jews in World War II that did fight, I
Yeah.
consider that uh, uh, a something that should be applauded, even if I disagree
Okay, okay, and
and I
some of
don't
us
see
did.
them as
But what's
the.
the point?
Mhm.
Some of us did, but what's the point? There was the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising as
My
a
point,
small
my
example.
point, my point is
Yeah,
that to the
yeah,
extent that Issa was asking for, or she's implying that the better thing for a man to do is to bend over and take it from the diddler. That
okay.
is that is not
No, 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 no,
a
no.
thing becoming of a
It's
man.
not what I said. What I said is that the better thing to do for a man is to protect his family because that is his mission and that is his duty. And he needs to protect his woman and his children.
But then it went into a gay thing, which is like a foolish hypothetical that's barely worth addressing. Like you made it gay,
Well,
like
I
so. I
mean,
mean,
rape of men and women does occur in war. This is the
I
thing,
understand that.
you know. So I'm not like completely offended by her scenario. But the question is, does a man fight to the death and risk his family having no squire to be there for them? I think yes, that's the honorable thing
No,
to
but
do.
it's not the example. The example
Okay.
I gave is, and the reason why I used rape norm, it's because we're talking here about principles, right? And so
Yeah.
that's a horrible thing that can happen to you, even worse than death. So that's the reason why I use that principle, is
I
not to
don't think
make it
it's worse
gay or
than
make it
that.
sexual. So my point was, if Diego and his family was kidnapped, and they were put, the wife and the kids in one room and him in another room, and then the 10 Hamas people were saying, okay, it's either you or your family. We're going to rape you, or we're going to rape your family. Rape your family. Take your pick. And so Diego was always saying, it's not going to be me, because I would be going against God if I accept that they rape me. So it's fine if they want to rape my family, because it was not my decision. It's not me raping them. So in front of God, I will still be clean, And so my next question was to him, okay, so how will you look your kids in the eyes after they have raped your wife and your kids and you are all released? How are you gonna tell your kids, yeah, honey, it was you or me, so I decided it was gonna be you? How can you look at them in the eye? And then Diego is like, yeah, but then I wouldn't be able to look at them in the eye either if I had allowed them to rape me, because then they wouldn't respect me anymore. And my wife wouldn't respect me anymore. They would look at me with shame, you know, because
Yeah,
I
they would
allowed that
become
to happen.
self-hating de la Vegas. That's the whole point. And that's what the other community is suffering from. The reason they have this tension between them and this neuroticism is because they know that some of their ancestors have picked up their things and left without fighting against the
No,
people that are
but
kicking
hold
them out
on.
of their.
And so the last thing is that I said, yeah, maybe I am just seeing this from a woman's perspective, because I would expect, if I am his wife and I have his children and I find myself in a situation with my children and myself in a room, and then later I learn that, I mean, I would be putting all my trust in him making the right decision, and then if he doesn't look after us, then who will? As a woman and as a mother, like, you put all your trust and all your vulnerabilities in your husband. So if you cannot trust him, who can I trust? And then he tells me, oh yeah, well, listen, but at least I didn't get raped. You guys got raped, but I didn't.
So
I
Diego,
then
let's
I
get
wouldn't be able to respect him.
all right. Diego, let's get to this
Wait, I
honor
want to
thing.
answer a question. You
I,
can trust me, Issa.
I
Your
want
husband
to
doesn't
address
protect you.
Diego.
I
Hang
will.
on a second. I want to address Diego. Hang on a second. Diego, nobody ever said the Palestinians had to leave, ever. The conception of Israel, and it's in writing, and it's our Declaration of Independence, which is like a peace offering, is equal rights for all. That's in our Declaration of Independence, which is the closest we have to a constitution. Within
Mhm.
24 hours of equal rights for all, five Arab armies attacked Israel, Syria, Egypt, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and two militias, Palestinian and Pakistani. Don't ask me why the Pakistanis were there. And they lost. And that is what they call the Nakba. They lost and they fled. The ones that stayed can remain with full equal rights. The one that left do not have a right of return. That's what happened, not what you're saying.
Well, it's a little bit more, even more than that, because Israel also suggested to take a lot of the refugees back as like a compromise in the peace settlement, but no Arab country actually wanted to have any type of a settlement with Israel because that would mean that they would recognize Israel.
Okay. I don't think we were debating the history of the Arab-Israeli conflict right now at this moment. I think we were
No,
talking
we were.
principles
You
and
said
I'm
concepts.
somebody
sorry, what
stole.
were, I'm sorry, I was here for like a few minutes. I tried to understand what you were talking about. Can someone tell me or like recap
Oh
what
yeah.
happened?
Well, it was complicated. First, Diego said the reason why you will go down in history, the reason why Israel will lose is because we fled
Yes.
when we were expelled. That's number one. And the reason why the
I'm saying
Palestinians
because
will
that's an
be the
honorable thing for you guys, and you
I
said just
got you. I got you.
elaborated
I
why.
got you. I
Yeah.
got you. I got you. Hang on. And the reason why the Palestinians will be regarded as heroes is because they stood and fought, which is also you fought. You're wrong in two different ways. Go ahead, Roddy.
Oh, I see. Like it's some type of a.
It just seems there's so much happening at a rapid rate. I mean, bro, it went from, we've got a year and a half to save the country and get the right man elected to it being we've got 40 days until the election. Exactly. The next 40 days are going to be the most batshit crazy 40 days we've ever experienced. 100%. It reminds me of that.
Their position.
Diego,
Diego. So you would.
I have a different
I
question because there are other communities that
well.
have had groups that have turned oppositional to the state that they are in. Are you saying that regardless of their ideology, they are valiant and masculine?
Well, I'm saying that to some extent, like for example, just to give you an example, like let's
Like
just
death
use
to
America, right?
Mexicans. I really hold by it.
Just to
From
be
from
clear,
Wait,
Mexed,
elementary.
you know that Mexed, Diego has a very Zionist sentiment in this case. Actually, a lot of the Zionist leaders were very much disappointed of the Jews of in the Gola. How do you say in the Gola?
Gullus.
In the
Diaspora.
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 In the
Diaspora.
diaspora, thank you. Yeah, the Jews in the diaspora that they didn't thought the Nazis. But the Zionists would say like we will fight till the end for that land and for
He's
our
the Czech
country and so on
television.
and so forth.
yeah. So
Right?
when you
So
go to
the
war,
sentiment.
you want to have a worthy opponent, right? I mean,
What?
that's the romantic nature of war. Like
Yeah,
No.
but
you don't want to
that's
fight a
not relevant.
pathetic, poor, starving
Diego, you
people
There's
have a
that you
nothing
could just drop
romantic
bombs on.
That's
about
not
war.
relevant right
There's
now.
nothing romantic about war. Rody, you know that that was a lot of propaganda in the 50s.
yeah.
It's all true, but it was a lot of propaganda because, like,
What
Yeah,
do you
you're
mean
because
trying to
propaganda?
bend
what I
stuff to
mean
feel
is,
it
No,
to
no,
it
it's
wasn't.
matter.
Mayor. It's even before the propaganda. It was in the 40s and in
Yeah,
the
but
like in the
No,
early
no,
I
30s.
Rolly, what Meyer
okay,
is
I
saying
know
is
it's from the
that
50s, but what I mean by a lot of propaganda is a lot of the not fighting back was invented. It wasn't it means when you have no hope, there's like, what are you supposed to do? There also were many uprisings that they ignored. Even the Warsaw Ghetto uprising, they by lottery and negotiations picked the Zionist to lead the uprising. It wasn't like he was the only one willing to do it. That was a lot of propaganda. They claimed that because there were like five different groups, and they like chose him as the leader, not because he was the only one who wanted to be the leader. So there was a lot of propaganda in there, and it's an interesting topic we could go through, but
Yeah,
this was
absolutely.
a
In the 40s,
rewriting
I
of
know like
history.
few quotes, even by Ben Gurion, that he was surprised that the Jews
And
didn't fought in a
T-Bone,
lot
which
of those
was a
places.
very
But I have
insulting. They
a
would call
He's the
him
Czech
further.
telegram.
zirconium.
Okay, but in line with
And
all of
there's
this
propaganda on both
conversation
sides. There's a lot of work
amongst
to
the
go through.
Zionists and the Jews as to whether or not they were cowardly and they were predisposed to running away, like Diego's suggesting, he's saying the Jews always run away when there's a problem. Diego,
That's
I
not what I
Die-
think
said.
Look,
Diego,
just
it
think
is,
about.
it is. You're saying they
I
ran
urge everyone.
away, they ran
Diego, I
away
just want
before,
to hang
they'll
on.
run away
Diego, I
again.
just want to establish that I represented you fairly, so that you know I'm capable of steel manning your
Yeah.
argument, listening to you, and representing you fairly. Is
Good.
that fair?
Good. Yes.
Okay. Okay,
I
good.
just
So
want
at
to say
least
there are over 1,000 instances of Jewish communities fleeing after they are expelled from places.
Right.
That's in the history.
And
That's
your
a known
conclusion is
thing.
anyone that flees from
Yeah,
conflict
but
has
Diego, they were never.
emasculated themselves,
Okay, so
correct?
Diego,
No,
let's
no,
go.
no, because
No?
obviously there's more content. You need
Diego.
more context than
I
that.
thought
Okay, Diego, let's
emasculated.
go through in 1 minute Jewish history,
Feels
right? The
emasculated.
Jews put up a really good fight against the Romans, got really, really close. The
Yes.
Romans, wait, stop. The Romans destroyed Jerusalem because they were so frustrated. It took them an entire legion to get rid of them. It's one of the only letters that are written to Caesar that don't say all is good with the troops. It was a very tough battle. Then 54
Yes.
years later, came back and fought another battle, lost that one too, but it was a very close battle. Then started a rebellion without the because of rights, lost that one too. Continued to have a separate army in the diaspora all the way up to the Crusades. The Crusades was a crushing blow. The Crusades, they fortified themselves in. They lost. York Massacre was another one. They were inside a castle. They fought and they lost.
Hmm.
After that, the Jews were such a minority, they did become into like a duck and hide attitude, but it was a survival tactic because the what like if that would have happened, you would read about Jews in history books. It would have been over, and that
And
continued all the way up until the 20th century when it was possible to fight again.
right,
So your attitude of
but
saying
that's
that these are
I'm
people that don't fight, it's people that stopped
I'm not
fighting for a
saying
couple hundred
no,
years.
no,
I
no, no,
agree,
no.
but there was no
Let
other
me.
choice. Like you,
Well, there's always a choice, right? Because we venerate
no,
tribes in
no.
the Americas that no longer exist as worthy
Well, let's.
opponents who fought to the death,
What?
Well,
right?
you okay? So I'd rather be alive and you say this than be
Exactly.
dead and you be proud.
Exactly. And I disagree with
Uh,
that position. That's the whole point
Okay,
that we're
Weird.
saying
right?
with
Because you're an
I'd
idiot.
rather I'd rather
Sounds
be
like
I'd
fun.
rather be remembered, as the brave
look,
Reds
Well,
than
you
like,
know what,
yeah,
Diego? I hope you get
That
your
is
wish. I
demented.
hope
Yeah,
you
I'm
get
going to jump in here.
remembered as
Hold
the
on,
brave
hold
Reds.
on, hold on,
he's
hold
not
on,
an idiot because he has
hold
a
on. It's
gift.
my turn. It's my turn. Hold on.
Uh
I'm going to, for the sake of argument, agree with Diego. Just for the sake of
oh.
argument, I don't agree with him. But let's hypothetically say he's right. The Jews have a long history of running. Um, how do you explain the establishment, 1948? How do you defend? How do you explain the 75 years of the Jews defending
I
Israel?
can.
How do you explain the ingathering of Jews from all over the world to go and protect our people in Israel? And how do you explain what's happening now if we're just going to run every time there's a problem?
Hmm.
I think I've explained it through humorous jabs
And now
at
you're
the
now
at
you're
the at the
stuttering,
room.
huh?
No, I'm saying like I've said like a drunk girl who asked her
Okay,
dad
I've
for
got another.
money. I think that's the joke that
I've got
everyone
another
knows.
question. Then, since you're not going to answer this question, how is it that you're able to hold this position with a straight face, carrying the name De La Vega when the Spanish turned and ran against the native Mexicans who allow you to identify as Mexican?
Ruh-roh.
Well, if you go to I don't know if my new account says it, but I've always been open and said I'm a Californio, meaning I fight for the Mexicans.
No,
Right? That's
you come from
Zorro fought for
Spanish
the
blood.
Mexicans. Yes, but Zorro
Diego,
fought for the Mexicans.
your father is descended from Spaniards who turned and ran and abandoned them.
I
Oh,
yes.
That is the history of the De La Vegas.
There you go. The De La
okay.
Vega,
It's
the
true, Diego. You have to
Zorro
take
fought for the
that one.
Mexicans. Just
So
like
is
I
that
would
I don't know
expect,
why.
just like Norman
I
Finkelstein fights for the Palestinians,
okay? Okay,
right?
Diego, is that what
no,
this
no, no,
is?
no.
Are you insecure about your family's history?
Yeah, this is all transference. He knows
No,
he's not a real
I'm serious.
Mexican.
Diego, are you
He's
embarrassed
a
by what your
Spaniard
ancestors did?
who was abandoned in Mexico, and he tries his best to identify as Mexican, even though he looks like a white guy.
No,
Are
he
you?
I
tries
don't
his
think
He's a
it's
best to
impo-
identify with Spaniards, but they don't want him.
I don't think it's impossible for
exactly.
a descendant to
He's a
transcend
mudblood.
the ethos of their people. I just think it's really really hard. And you're not, and
So
to the
you're
extent that
embarrassed.
you are
All right. Shut up. You just exposed yourself as a fake.
okay.
Yeah, you're just saying you're embarrassed by what your ancestors did.
You're
I
embarrassed by
have
what
noticed
you
Not
are, and you're
some.
not
transferring it
embarrassed by
onto
what
the
my
Jews,
Wait,
ancestors
wait,
and it's
wait.
It's
not
a
No, no,
accurate.
no,
weird
no, no,
thing.
no.
Like,
Hold on,
why
hold
are
on, hold
you
on. According to
disrespecting
you,
your
what is it?
ancestors that
Hold
made
on, Maxette.
choices that
According to
produced
you,
you?
Maxette, what is it that his parents did?
Well, that's what I'm saying. He views it as disrespectful for someone to run away from their community in order to survive. But that's literally the choice his ancestors made for him to exist today.
Yeah, that's what my grandparents